Hello guys, welcome to a new video. This is Akshara, and a lot of you have been DMing me and have been asking for advice like related to the virtual candidate weekend. So today, through this video, I'm going to relieve that stress. And even though I wasn't a part of the virtual candidate weekend, thank God, but I have two amazing people who did attend the CW4, which was the first virtual candidate weekend ever, and they're here to share their experiences and help you guys throughout this process. So let's get started. Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me in this video, and yeah, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, thank you very much for having me. Of course, my name is Juan Manuel Rodriguez. I'm a current freshman at NYU Abu Dhabi. I think you already guessed that in the title of the video. And I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing, but I was part of Candidate Weekend 4. I'm currently living in Medellin, Colombia, the place where I was born, and I'm really excited to go to Abu Dhabi next semester.
Hi, I'm Ahmed, a freshman at NYU AD, and I'm Egyptian. I attended the CW4 or the Virtual Candidate Weekend, and my intended major is hopefully civil or computer engineering, and I'm still undecided about it.
Okay, let's get started off with the questions. My first question would be about like the general details of the candidate weekend. When was it? How many days long was it? Yeah.
1 week before, on February 29th, telling us that it got cancelled for a virtual candidate weekend. And it was moved to March 21st to 23rd, I think.
Okay, so my next question would be how many hours did you have to spend every day for the candidate weekend? Like, what was the time distribution like?
So you didn't have a set schedule, but you had like 7 or 8 videos to watch, and I think 4 or 5 of them was like 45 to an hour and 15 minutes long. So like I think the total, as far as I remember, was like 7 to 8 hours, something like that.
Okay, so can you give us like a detailed walkthrough of all that happened on your schedule of the candidate weekend? So all the activities that you were a part of and everything else.
So you start with getting a virtual tour from the NYU AD campus. It's like a video on YouTube. You can search for it, and then you go through a speech by by the vice chancellor, and then a speech by Professor Brian Waterman. He's a really he's a really exciting man. He's an amazing man. I haven't met him yet, but I'm so excited to meet him. And then you go through a talk between the deans of the faculties, like dean of engineering, dean of science, dean of social science, I think, and then you have like a webinar where there were 2 seniors and Professor Brian Waterman and 2 other deans, I think.
We had 2 mock lectures. We could attend, we needed to attend one of them, but I attended both because I was very excited. And the lectures were as well pre-recorded from a previous candidate weekend, I think. And apart from that, we were told that we had to write an essay, which is the candidate weekend essay. I think you might know about it. It's another writing assignment. And we were told to use 75 minutes, but it was really not measured. And apart from that, most interaction was on Facebook. So as soon as I ended a lecture or a meeting, I went into Facebook and chatted with people. It was amazing because all of us were connected at the same time, and it was like mock interaction. But to be honest, I made friends in candidate weekend, something that I wasn't expecting at all, and I still talk to people like Terry Chen, for example. I'm like, hey, do you remember me from candidate weekend? And he's like, oh yeah. And it's very cool to know that despite like the coronavirus and a horrible situation, the university made an effort to have a nice candidate weekend for us. To be honest, I was very it was disappointing to not go to Abu Dhabi, but I entered the candidate weekend unsure of if I wanted to go to this university or not, and I ended 100% certain that this was the college of my dreams. So it was hard, and it was like it was watching a lot of lectures, yet I think it was worth it because it convinced me a lot that I wanted to study here.
So did you have to like just watch videos and like the recorded stuff, or were there any like interactive sessions like sample classes or discussions as well?
There was one like live session, which was a Q&A. And in that live session, we asked questions in the chat, and they were like in a webinar answering questions. Apart from that, I don't remember any other interactive activity from the university.
Can you also talk about the essays that you had to write before or during the candidate weekend?
There's one essay you have to write before the candidate weekend, and when you get the invitation, they tell you. So I think if you're watching this video, probably you already know that essay. And then during the candidate weekend, it's supposed to be a timed essay, and in like in-person candidate weekend, they've told me that they sit you down in a lecture hall and then you do the essay.
Like the essay that you're talking about, was that like evaluated in the admissions process? Do you think that was happening, or was it for like the writing classes if you get admitted?
They say that it's for the writing classes, and I believe that because it wouldn't make sense for them to tell us otherwise.
Okay, this is a question that a lot of people had, and it's a stressful one. Were there any interviews, formal or informal, and what was your experience like?
No.
People are like dancing behind the screen.
No, none.
No. To me, nothing. And I like my best friend went to candidate weekend 2 in person, and they didn't interview him either. So don't worry about it. And if they do, it's not gonna be like this super surprise thing in which they'll like evaluate you if you get in or not, but more like a chill conversation with a professor or someone else.
So since there weren't any interviews, how do you think they evaluated you?
Honestly, the only way that they could have evaluated us is we had some questions that popped up in the middle of the videos that we were watching, and I don't know if they evaluated us based on that, but if they did, then that's the way they evaluated us. Or maybe they were spying on us on the Facebook group or something.
I think, and I would assume that they like gave a little more focus to our like resume, as in standardized tests, essays. But I'm sure that there were many people reading the Facebook forums, many people seeing how if we were interacting in the session, and I do think that there was a component of like seeing how engaged we were. And I missed one last thing. There is a Duolingo test we had to take, which was horrible, but they needed to know that we spoke English and that were bilingual. So we had to take a Duolingo test, the standardized test for Duolingo.
Thank you so much for all those details. Now let's talk about any advice that you have for people who are watching this video. Like, how did you prepare, and how do you think they should prepare?
It's I tend to be a very perfectionist person. So to tell you that I didn't try to prepare would be lying, because I was like very stressed about it. But I'd say just don't try to fake who you are. Be you. And if you don't get into the university, it's because the admissions committee didn't think you were fit. If you're already invited to candidate weekend, it's because you are a student like with a great academic record. And if you don't get in it, I think it's better for you. Get there, be yourself, enjoy it to the best. And instead of saying, what can I do to make the university like me, think, how can I like how can I get the best out of this experience to know if it is really the university I want to go to? And if you're sure, then enjoy it, have fun. And even if you like don't end up going, this is an amazing opportunity, and take the best out of it.
Honestly, like there's literally no way to prepare. Just be prepared that you're going to meet a lot of amazing people, and like people who have so many achievements, and be prepared not to be intimidated, because it's so easy to get intimidated by them. And just be prepared to make a lot of friends and communicate with a lot of people from around the world. Yeah.
Also, like, what would you suggest other people to keep in their minds during the duration of the calendar weekend? Like, what was your mindset like throughout all those days?
Like, don't stress too much about it. I no, I don't think this is good advice because like it is stressful. I know that I was in that position 1 year ago, less. And when people told me like, oh, don't stress about it, I would like scream because I was stressed. And stress is natural, but just as I said, don't think of this as an evaluation. Don't think of this as a like, oh, I'm gonna get tested. It's gonna be so scary, but more. Imagine like a date where you go with someone and you're both seeing if you are like good for each other. And it is stressful, but do your best to be yourself and to enjoy it. I know I sound like a broken record, like scratch record, but it's true. Enjoy it and be yourself. That's my two main points.
Honestly, like we are in very weird times, so like keep in mind that the university is trying their best to make the best experience for you and for you to take a look at the university. And I don't know, but maybe this year the virtual candidate weekend might be better than the one we had, because like the one we had was like the first week of the virtual world, and now we're all experts in the virtual world. So maybe they have something more professional, like the marhaba that we had or something.
Do you have any other advice or like suggestion or tip that you have for the people watching this video?
Feel free to reach out to admissions officers, emails. They give you a lot of resources of people who you can talk to, and they are not like this big scary organization that like has secret plans. No, they are humans behind the computer, and they are usually very helpful to me. I almost couldn't go to candidate weekend, the first one, the in-person one, because of a problem with the visa. And the people I talked to were incredible. So feel free to reach out if you have any issues, concerns, and they are the ones that are going to provide more specific and academic answers if that's what you're looking for.
Get into the Facebook group and talk with different people, because it's a once in a lifetime experience, and just make the most out of it and get to know different people. And it's always really nice to have a lot of connections, even if you don't go to the same school at the end, but like there are golden connections at the end of the day.
That's so true. Yeah, I mean, I remember like the WhatsApp groups, the Facebook groups we were in, those were like the most diverse groups in the world. I don't really think there's other WhatsApp group that has people from 80 different countries. So
Yeah, that's
that
true.
truly is like a really unique thing.
And I was like forced to talk to people from like the other side of the world, Mexico, Brazil, Taiwan, and everywhere. And it was really fun, because like every person you meet has a different story and has a different perspective, and yeah, it's really fun.
And there is like one thing for sure, that everyone is really excited to meet new people. So you wouldn't really find anyone who's like, who doesn't want to talk to you, or who wouldn't really talk to you if you like try talking to them. Everyone is like really welcoming, and you'll find that all of the people are really excited to meet you and like share some experiences. So to summarize all of that, I think like the experience that you guys would have for a candidate weekend, like the new class of 2025 or classes further than that, I hope not. I hope not. But yeah, that will be very different than us, like class of 2024, because people are more used to virtual settings, and everyone is way more prepared for having like a good candidate, interactive candidate weekend than last year. So we really do expect that you have way more interaction than these people. And yeah, just have fun. Know like that this isn't really like an evaluative part. It's more like you evaluating them than they evaluating you. So enjoy it. Yeah, I guess. I mean, even though it's really stressful, I know that, but still try enjoying it and be your true self. Don't be someone else. Just try portraying who you truly are throughout everything that you do. Wow, just turned into a TED talk real quick. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I drift off so freaking quick. So do all that you think is important in making you feel that you're prepared, and just go dive in. That's all. That was totally useless. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me. I really do appreciate it, and I'm pretty sure everyone else appreciates it as well.
Thank you for having me. I hope it works. I hope it helps.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm gonna link their Instagrams below if you wanna DM them or just give them a follow. And also, yeah, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, subscribe, and leave a comment below, whatever you want to. And thank you for watching. Have a great day, guys. Ta-da.